All right. You might notice something a little bit different about my background right now, and that is that I am currently in a vehicle. And I'm not in my studio back home. Now, the reason for that is I'm currently driving. I'm currently on my way back from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, and about halfway back, I thought, I am not gonna. If I keep going, I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna get back to LA in time to go live once I get all my shit indoors. To go live before it hits midnight, and I set myself the goal of streaming every day. And when I say I'm going to stream every day, I goddamn mean it until I say otherwise. So, this is the solution to me not currently being back in Los Angeles in my studio. I am going to be coming. I'm coming live to you from my car, conveniently parked at a service station, or as you Americans call it, a gas station. Now, what happened today? Today was a very interesting day. I am on my way back from Vegas. I've just spent the day at what is effectively an orgy, really. It was you could also call it like a content day. So it was some people rented a house in Vegas, a very nice house, I'll say, and invited a bunch of performers to rock up and basically just shoot and trade content all day. And there's a few videographers there, a few cameramen, photographers, and even a makeup artist. So all the girls get glammed up, and then the few dudes who were there sort of just rotated their penises around so that everyone could get a bit. And it was an interesting day because I managed to tick off five different ladies off my for want of a better term, off my fuck it list uh, at this content day slash orgy. So today has been a fantastic day for me. And something really interesting happened while I was filming one of these scenes. I got to film with a lady who goes by the name of Mistress Delicious. So she is a PORG performer, a PAWG, which stands for Fat Ass White Girl, and the P stands for Pretty Hot and Tempting, so it's a double acronym. I got to work with this girl, and she has her entire brand, right? Her entire brand is based around being this sort of mistress who smothers people because she's quite a big booty girl. And it was very interesting because this was we shot like a five-way. So it was me and Rome Major, who's the other male talent, and there was three girls. And Mistress Delicious was one of them, and it was kind of her first time shooting like a hardcore scene of that nature, right? Where she wasn't really being, she was shooting a boy-girl scene where she wasn't really being a dom. And it was really interesting. And so I thought, and when she started talking about like her boundaries, her do's and don'ts, her no lists and stuff, uh, she mentioned, look, if I'm submissive, like when I'm not a mistress, I want to use these words. I want you to fuck me like a real man. I want you to choke me. I want you to toss me around, fuck me, like go down, like all the way down to the balls, etc., etc. And it was just like in my head, I'm like, ha, Sterling, you are vindicated yet again, yet again, because I've had people in the past message me and ask me about uh, dominatrixes, like female dominatrixes, so women who work as professional doms. And I have dated a few of these professional dominatrixes, and so it's what I tell people is that look, the sort of the act of being a dominatrix isn't in of itself a sexually gratifying thing for her. It's more of an ego gratifying thing for her. It's like the psychological aspect of it is what is really, sort of doing it for her. Because all the girls that I've dated that were professional dominatrixes absolutely loved being dommed themselves in the bedroom in their private life. And so I thought it was when she said that again, when she said that today before we started shooting, I was like, ha ha ha, ding ding ding, you're right again, Sterling. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't let anyone try to tell you otherwise. King Lay, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. If you got any questions in the chat, by the way, just drop them. I'm parked. I'm not driving, so I can answer some questions before I have to recharge my my mobile phone in case it starts to run a bit low. But yeah, it was a very interesting content day because what the thing that was quite interesting to me. So the whole day was basically a bunch of Porg, thick, curvy Porg girls at this house, and I'm fascinated by it because Lux up there, welcome back, man. Good to see you, buddy. You caught a live one. What these girls like? So I see in the whole like man like with my fucking face. There it is. In the whole like manosphere, red pill, like dating, fucking YouTube space or Twitter space or whatever the hell, right? There's this constant like dick measuring contest going on where guys are like, oh, like I only fuck 9s and 10s and shit like that. But here's the thing, like, and look, maybe I'm a product of my times. I'm happy to say I'm happy to admit if I am. A lot of these guys are putting these chicks up on a pedestal who are like the sort of classical, like uber thin, like teeny looking chicks. And don't get me wrong, I like young girls. Don't get me wrong, but they're like the skinny chicks with no titties, no ass, very demure looking, and like yeah, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, because I get cast with these girls all the time. But God help me, I can't deny my nature. I love a thick girl. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love a girl who's kind of thick, and I've banged chicks who are like, who most guys would consider like 9s and 10s or whatever, especially in my job as well. And it's like, man, something about thick girl pussy just fucking hits differently. Feels fantastic, if you ask me. But so for any the reason I'm saying this is for any guys out there who might feel guilty indulging in girls who are like big booties or big titties, or might be a bit thicker in the thighs. Dude, if you're into it, do it. Like I always preferred like the binary system when it comes to chicks. It's like she's either a 1 or a 0. You either want to fuck her or you don't want to fuck her. Plain and simple. But let me tell you something, man. These girls, they get these sort of thicker, big booty white chicks. They get so much fucking thirst and attention in their DMs, like all day, constantly. So like all these manosphere guys saying like, oh, they're all fatties and they don't get like attention and blah blah blah. They get fucking endless attention. They get NBA players sliding up in their DMs all day, rappers sliding up in their DMs all day. The blue check marks are fucking piling up in these girls' DMs. Let me tell you that right now. Got a few things in the chat here. Marty, how do I? Oh, there we go. Boom. So them being Dom gets their mind off. You Dom gets their pussy off. Basically, yeah. I wouldn't even say it gets their mind off. It's more, it's like because you can, like it's not like I'm giving them. It's not like it's giving them an orgasm for their mind. It's a power trip thing. That's probably a better way of phrasing it. It's a power trip, is what it is more than anything. Where are you at? Should I get a VAS at 32? I'm assuming you mean vasectomy. Um, well, I probably need to know more about your situation. Like, I wouldn't recommend it unless you in a marriage and you have kids and you don't want to have any more kids and you're 100,000% certain your wife is super loyal to you and like you know you're not going to go through a divorce anytime soon. Like she's like in line. Maybe then, yeah. But if you, I don't know, like just wear a fucking condom if you're out banging random girls you don't want to get them pregnant. Wrap your dick up. That's what I'll say right there. I wouldn't see tens of whack in bed, Morpheus. I'm not a yeah. Look, so like the kind of girls that I get booked with because I'm like the stepdad or whatever, right? These sort of young, early 20s, thin, uh, uh, thin white chicks who are like super super hot. Like they're like conventional hot. You know what I mean? They're not bad in bed. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's just the way it feels. It just hits different. It just hits your wang slightly different. There's something about it, man. Something about thickness. Maybe it's just me. Guilty as charged. Maybe it's just my perversion. Maybe here's the thing. Maybe I've had so much vagina that has been like classically good looking, like thin, youthful chicks that my perverted mind is like, we need something fucking new. So it mix it up a bit. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I have to analyze this further as we progress through this live stream. Uh, well, I agree. You got to have some round titties, man. Got to have those round titties. You've got to love those titties. We were talking. Bull Rush. Welcome. I was talking about. I worked with a girl today who who works as like her whole brand is that she is a mistress, a dom, like a dominant person. She her whole thing is that she sits on guys' faces and smothers them. That's her whole bit. But then when we came to shooting a regular boy girl, guy girl sex scene, she the first thing out of her mouth was, "I want you to fuck me like a real man. So choke me, like go balls deep, go hard, go far." That was like literally the words that came out of her mouth. So I was like, "Ha, Sterling's right again." Uh, yes, correct, Marty. We are talking about Bull Rush's mom. Locks of the been eons since you heard of your mom joke. Look, I'm glad you guys have fun in my chat. What do you say, dude? I'm talking like when I say thick, I'm talking like a no joke. Here's this girl I had today. Like we're talking like a 50-inch booty. We're talking big, like big. But look, that's the extreme end. I like them. I like them. You know, I like them anywhere from like. I mean, look. Let's be honest. I like everything. But when I say thick, we're probably talking like 30-inch booties plus. I'm not very good with like the American measure. Like to be perfectly honest, I'm probably making it up because I don't really. I give me centimeters. I'm much better with centimeters than inches. But yeah, like the circumference of this girl's booty was like 50 inches, which is big. And I'm like, because I know I see guys online who are like would look at a photo of a chick. I know what they would say. They would look at a photo like of a chick like this and they'd be like, "Ew, gross." And I look at her, I'm like, I still want to hit it, man. I don't know about you guys, but I still really want to hit it. So maybe that's why I do what I do. Maybe that's why I'm I'm in this profession in the first place. Kind of makes sense, right? Where are we at? Big voluptuous cities. Damn right. Bull Rush. I like how this stream is completely turned into a total perversion fest. Yeah, black girl thick. That's probably a good way of putting it. Black girl thick, right? Well, the funny thing was, I was the only white dude there. Everyone else is like, all the other guys were like all the other male talent were black dudes. And it was like, and I said that. I was saying that to one of the guys. Or was I saying it to one of the girls? I can't remember who I was saying it to. I was like, maybe my dick is black on the inside. Maybe that's why I've got like a thing for like thick thighs and big booties and big old titties. Maybe that's it. I don't understand. I don't understand myself sometimes. Titty men. she hasn't paid the 50 inch cadet. I'll tell you a story. I'm glad you said that, Marty. I'll tell you a fucking story right now. Can't believe this. I'm like sitting here parked and I've already been chatting for 15 minutes. So I remember I was shooting this one scene for, I think it was Penthouse. Penthouse is who I was shooting for. Oh, someone's getting a car broken into. In the middle of the Nevada desert. Someone's getting their car broken into. And it was the first time Penthouse was doing they were doing what they doing the first ever BBW feature. And I don't have a problem shooting with bigger girls. I could do it. So they booked me for it, and ended up working with this girl who I was really keen to work with. She's a lovely girl, very professional, was really popular as well. She'd just blown up on Brazzers, so she was really popular, and then they booked her for this thing. And but she was 300 pounds, no joke. She was 300 pounds, and about 5'9", I want to say, 5'9", 300 pounds. I'm like 6 foot, 210 pounds, to give you some reference. And this fucking director, man, and I immediately put him on my no list. And he'll never hire me again anyway, because I lost my shit on set, and I yelled at the director and whatever. What he tried to do is he tried to get us into this position. He tried to get us into reverse cowgirl, right? So the girl is facing the camera. I'm behind her. She's on top of me. She's facing the camera on this chair, right? But the problem was the chair had really fucking high arms, really high armrests on either side. So she couldn't get, her legs couldn't reach the floor. It was physically impossible for her legs to reach the floor to support herself, right? So, and she couldn't like sort of sit there hovering on the legs because I wouldn't be able to like reach her. Just the physical logistics of the way the chair was situated and our heights and my respective dick length was impossible. So I had to like get my bottom half of my back, like my pelvis, off the edge of this chair, and simultaneously like lift up a 300-pound girl with my pelvis, which is not fucking easy. And I was like getting pissed at the director because he wasn't listening to me. I was like, dude, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And he just wouldn't fucking listen. I was like, action. Oh god. And then fucking, and I think I actually think I completely faked the cum shot, and he didn't even fucking notice. Because the girl was rather big, like we said. But he was like, he had a camera like on my face, and I think he yelled out like cum shot or something, and I just fucking faked it. Didn't even notice. The motherfucker didn't even notice. And yeah, and then the next day, so I'm like hyperextending my back like this off the edge of a fucking chair with a 300-pound girl on me. And it's not her fault. It was the director being a moron. And the very next day, I couldn't get out of bed. For the next 2 days, actually, 2 to 3 days, I was struggling to move because I had like slipped the disc. I'd slipped the disc in my back doing that. Yeah, so I was out of action for a few days. So you're absolutely right. That a 50-inch booty can absolutely hurt you, Marty. Where did we get to? There was Hazard Pay. Hello, Alphasoft. I'm not reading Roller. I'm just in my car. I'm on my way back from a orgy in Vegas, and I wasn't going to make it home in time to LA to my studio to go live. And I've made the promise that I'm going to be streaming every day. So here we are. Boom. Not reading my erotic novels, but you know. I do work with Asian girls. I'm going to be honest though, man. I'm actually not into Asian girls. There's one exception. There is one exception to this rule. I'm not into Asian girls. If you get what I'm saying, like Asian girls from Asia, raised in Asia, they do nothing for me. Absolutely not. Like they're kind like I look at Asian girls and they kind of seem like it sounds bad, but they seem asexual to me. Like there's nothing sexual about them at all. They're like completely neutral. And I know a lot of guys that completely disagree with that because they're into the Asian girls. The one exception though to this rule is I absolutely love Asian girls with an American accent. If they're like that, actually, I'll add one more caveat. They have to be slutty Asian girls with an American accent. Whoo boy, they are fantastic. One of my favorite girls out here to work with is a girl by the name of Ember Snow. She is dynamite, absolutely dynamite. But yeah, that's my. So how do they compare? Like those, like the ones I like, those Asian American, slutty Asian American girls, they're fantastic. A cushion for the push, and absolutely right, Bull Rush. Not too deadly thick girls, but some thick girls do look pretty fuckable. That's the thing, dude. That's the thing. They look, and you look at like a lot of these girls, they like, because these are the kind of girls that do really well on Instagram, right? Because they take, I mean, Instagram is basically just one big pile of butt photos. If we're being perfectly honest, it's just a lot of photos of girls' butts in bikinis and thongs and shit. And the girls with big booties do really well on it because obviously they take a better photo because there's a bigger butt, easier to get a good photo, blah, blah, blah. And then, man, I've been surprised when you meet these girls in real life, you're like, holy hell, that is infinitely bigger than I even imagined. It looks big on camera, but it's even bigger in person. You're like, God damn. God damn. Dom time with Sterling. Well, you know, look, I basically did a live stream, a live demonstration of that for the guys on the weekend with the Rule Zero online conference. So there you go. Watch browser, stop fucking lying, Bull Rush. Yeah, I gave him. That's absolutely right, Marty. I gave him the O-faced. Yeah. Well, I am starting to stay away from more idiot directors now. I'm just sort of over it. I'm like, look, I'm not. Look, I'm 33. I'm sick of these guys like who've never worked as a male performer trying to tell me how to do my job. But at this point, I know what I'm doing. It's not like I'm fucking brand new. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know. Here we go. Zach, I know you mentioned that there are very few red pillow wear guys in the industry, but how many of the girls know you are red pillow wear and do they have problems with it? It's actually kind of interesting. It's the only real metric I have to gauge this is the girls that used to follow me on Twitter that no longer follow me on Twitter. Like I've been a lot more vocal, like tweeting stuff out a lot more than I was in the past before I was red pilled, obviously. Tweeting stuff and then doing these live streams and talking openly and stuff. And I've noticed a few girls that were following me, who I've worked with, who were following me before, and you know maybe we would have shot content at some point together, have just completely like dropped, like not blocked me, but like they've done the unfollow because they don't want to like listen to the stuff anymore. But no, like I think I've only had like one girl actually comment on anything, being like, "Oh, you're one of those guys," and then I had another one who was like, "Oh, you're in like the manosphere," but she didn't have a problem with it. I was like, "Oh," I was explaining to her like, "Oh, look, I've linked up with these guys, and I'm sort of helping dudes, giving them some advice in the bedroom, and teaching them how to be a bit more dominant in the bedroom." She's like, "Oh, you mean the manosphere?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you actually know what I'm talking about." So that's kind of where we're at. That's exactly right, Bull Rush. Asian girls do not have big titties or wide hips. What is more feminine than some big old titties and some wide hips? Oh, speaking of which, there's some wide hips walking into the gas station right now. I wouldn't even say that, dude. Like, Marty, I wouldn't even say they look like sex dolls, man. Because at least sex dolls got some curves on them. Well, maybe he did just want to work my glutes. I feel like my glutes are already sufficiently worked, and if you see me in a pair of pants, if you see me in like some tailored suit pants, you'll know what I'm talking about. I have put lots of effort into my glutes. They look fantastic. All right, my battery is about to die on me, so I'm going to call it a day here. I'll do one more question just for you, Bull Rush. After Bull Rush's question, I'll log off so I can navigate my way back home again, and we'll call it a day. Here we go. How has the COVID nonsense affected the industry? Hollywood seems to be going down the drain. So, funny you mentioned that. So our response, we were one of the first industries to just go back to work, man. So our response was to basically implement so we do STI testing every 14 days standard. What we do now is we do a COVID test, a COVID throat swab, 48 hours depends upon the studio. Some studios are okay with, like, on average, it's like 48 hours before we shoot. Some studios want you to test the day before, so you have a 24-hour test. Some are okay with a 72-hour test. But basically, we do a throat swab, and everyone. So not just the male and female talent, but the director, his PAs, his lighting guys, anyone who's the makeup girl, anyone who is on set has to have had one of these tests done. And then when we get there, we do a questionnaire about, like, have you had any exposure to someone who's had COVID? Have you felt coughing or sickness or loss of taste or blah, 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 blah in the last 24 hours? That kind of bullshit. We do a questionnaire, which that stops COVID in its tracks. Questionnaires. Oh boy, they fear the questionnaire. And then what else do we do? Then there's, like, they have to provide, like, hand sanitizer on set and a few other things. But that's basically, like, our industry sort of sits together. Our industry is kind of interesting because actually our industry self-regulates. It's actually a really good example of self-regulation, to be honest, because we don't really have a union. I mean, there's technically a union, but they're not really a union. They're not really a union. And God, it's hot in here. I'm gonna. Whew, Jesus. Oh, that's better. Yeah. Fuck off. Yeah, so we don't really have a union, but we set standards for ourselves. They're not imposed by the government or an external lobby or anything like that. It's like us sitting down being like, hey, we'd like to not catch AIDS. Let's find a way to not have that happen. And so we have, like, very high standard for testing, the actual, like, tests that are performed on us, or on our blood samples rather, have, like, very good what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the exposure periods are very minimal, so we can catch stuff straight away. But all these standards for the COVID stuff was put in place again by like committees of like performers and directors and stuff. So sort of set a standard for everyone, and everyone's basically followed that. I think in our industry, like, and here's the funny thing, I know for a fact. So we have AVN. AVN is the big conference we have every year. In January in Las Vegas. You get people from all around the world, fans from all around the world come to Las Vegas to meet and greet porn stars and get signatures and blah, blah, blah. I know for a fact that there were people, not even performers, but I know directors. I know a few directors that caught COVID at AVN in January. So our entire industry got exposed to COVID in Las Vegas. And I know it because when they were telling me they were driving back from Las Vegas, they were super ill, and then they took a COVID test and they tested positive for the antibodies. So a bunch of us got exposed to it at AVN. I mean, I had it in May. I'm like 99% certain that I had it in May. And for your boy Sterling, it was like one night of cold chills and then fucking nothing. Like, fucking drop kick that motherfucking thing in the face. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. If you're not like obese and you're not elderly, this thing ain't gonna fucking knock you down. And we've seen that. You can see that with the mortality numbers, the survivability numbers. Yeah. So there you go, Bull Rush. A long answer to your short question was that's how our industry has basically responded to it. It's a bit over the fucking top, if you ask me. And since we've gone back to shooting, I think there's been maybe 3 or 4 people who've tested positive for it in the talent pool, and that's basically it. Which is not bad, considering, like, how contagious it's supposed to be, and the fact that it's supposed to be fucking everywhere because we're all made to wear masks every time we go in a fucking store. Some things are not quite adding up. An Asian girl with a Kiwi accent would get me going. Fuck you, Alpha Sloth. Fuck you. There's nothing more. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to rank the world's most unattractive accents in order. Okay? You ready for this? Number 1. The Kiwi accent is the most unattractive accent on a woman in the entire world. Number 2 is the South African accent. Is the second most unattractive accent on a girl in the entire fucking world. There's nothing that is a faster boner killer than a girl with a Kiwi accent or a girl with a South African accent. You are absolutely wrong there, Alpha Sloth. Where are we at here? Chris, has a female performer ever got pregnant from a scene and wanted to keep the child? I know that there's definitely been multiple cases of female performers getting pregnant. Whether or not they could prove who the father was, I have no fucking idea. I honestly have no idea. But I do know female performers who are pregnant and who have kids. But I don't know if it's specifically like a male performer that got them pregnant, or if it was their partner at home. I've never pursued that line of questioning, to be perfectly honest. Hate to say it. You got some weird and creepy fans. I've noticed them on Twitter. It's part of the territory, my friend. It's just part of the territory. What do we got here? Renegade Randall. Not sure what you mean by that. No shit, I don't understand. They're just girls. You wouldn't be surprised if all the mate. I'll tell you right now. I fucking guarantee you. So Zach says, I will not be surprised if all the health recommendations change on the 4th of November. I don't think he will win. I honestly, I think, despite what we kind of, even with all the COVID stuff, even with 10% better, we're going to wrap this up. Even with all the COVID stuff, even with what's going on with Trump, and some people were speculating that he started to lose his lead over Biden. I still think he's got. I don't think there's any way that that Trump is going to lose. I mean, just look at what this is what they were all saying with Hillary in 2016. They're all saying oh, Hillary's got in the bag. No way Donald Trump will get it, and they just fucking swooped in. And that kind of sentiment hasn't really gone away. If anything, the whole the secret Trump voter thing has gone up. I think with everything that's been going on lately. And look, and I can't vote, man. I'm not a citizen. I ain't got a fucking. I ain't got a foot in the not a foot in the race. I ain't got a horse in the race, so to speak. But I fucking guarantee you that if the Democrats, if Biden wins, COVID will mysteriously fucking disappear overnight. Because it's just Trump's here's the Trump has just done such an amazing job for the media. He is he is never-ending clickbait for these people, because they just shit on him no matter what he does. No matter what he does, they'll fucking find some way to completely shit on the guy, and it makes for endless content. So the worst thing that happened to mainstream media in the USA is Trump lost the election, because then they'd have to get back to finding something else to write about, because all they want to do is write about COVID and how it's Trump's fault and how bad Trump is and blah blah blah. So if he loses, they're going to run out of shit to talk about real quick. And I reckon that if the Democrats win, then COVID is going to poof magically fucking disappear. Danny Arnold, Sterling, you should hear a Boston accent from a girl. Now that's an atrocious, obnoxious, annoying accent. I actually don't think I have heard a Boston accent on a chick yet. I've definitely heard it on guys, but I've mysteriously managed to avoid meeting a woman from Boston. So I'll have to keep a lookout for that, as far as accent goes. All right, that's going to be it for me. I've got to get back on the road and get home, but I'm glad this worked. I spent a good 10 minutes trying to figure out how do I go live from my mobile phone using my apps, and I fucking figured it out, because I made a promise. I'm not breaking that promise. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Yeah, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, that guy passed away today. I heard about that. So, I'll catch you all tomorrow. All right? Let's end this